It was just another Friday night. Couch, blanket, reality TV about people arguing over nothing. The kind of show you watch when your brain's too tired to care. Chloe was curled up next to me, laughing at something dumb on screen. I leaned in, kissed her on the forehead, whispered, "Good night. I love you," like I had every single night for 2 years. She didn't say it back. She didn't even smile. She just stopped, muted the TV, turned to face me, and looked at me like she was about to deliver bad news from a doctor. My stomach dropped, not because I thought she'd break up with me, but because I knew this wasn't about breaking up. This was something colder, something quieter. "I like you, Mark," she said. "I really do. But I'm not in love with you." That's it. No warning. No build-up. Just a sentence dropped like a stone into still water. And the ripples? They didn't spread. They sank. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't even flinch. I just processed it. Like a system error in a program I didn't write. My brain locked onto the facts. She likes me. She is not in love with me. Acknowledged. "Okay," I said. "Thanks for the clarification." Then I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and went to bed. I could feel her eyes on my back the whole way. She was waiting for the explosion. The begging. The "what can I do to fix this?" She wanted me to fight for her, so she could feel powerful saying no. She wanted me to grovel, so she could tell her friends how strong she was for walking away from a relationship where someone still loved her. But I gave her nothing. Just silence. Calm. Acceptance. And that scared her more than any tantrum ever could. As I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. A notification from the group chat she had with her best friends, the one she once showed me, laughing, saying, "These are my emotional support animals." I never left it. Never thought to. The message popped up. She said it. OMG, she actually did it. "So proud of you." And then another. "You're such a queen for being honest like that. Most people would have just ghosted or stayed miserable." I didn't need to open the chat to know what was happening. She was in there, basking in the glow of their praise, telling them how brave she was, how mature, how she'd redefined modern relationships by keeping me around without the messy burden of love. She thought she was being revolutionary. She thought she'd pulled off the ultimate power move, keeping the apartment, the stability, the free meals, the emotional support, the guy who fixed her car and paid for her trips, all without having to love me back. What she didn't realize, she hadn't upgraded the relationship. She'd terminated it. And I was about to become the most efficient, logical, and emotionally neutral roommate she'd ever lived with. The game wasn't over. It had just begun. The next morning, I woke up at 6:15, same as always. The old me, the one in love, would have leaned over, kissed her forehead, whispered, "Good morning," and gone to make her coffee. The kind she liked, dark roast, almond milk, one sugar. Not today. Today, I made coffee for me, poured it into my thermos, left the pot on the counter, empty, dirty, no cleanup. The man who cleaned up after her was gone. The roommate doesn't care. I got dressed, brushed my teeth, walked out of the bedroom without a word. "Have a good day," I said as I passed. Her in the kitchen. No kiss. No "love you." No smile. Just polite. Civil. The way you treat a coworker you see every morning at the elevator. She blinked at me like I was speaking another language. For the first few days, she seemed relieved. Lighter. Like a weight had been lifted. She didn't have to pretend anymore. No pressure. No expectations. She could just exist, with all the benefits of a relationship, none of the strings. She thought she'd won. She had no idea she'd just triggered a silent, invisible protocol. I called it the roommate system, and it was running perfectly. Friday afternoon, my phone buzzed. A text from Chloe. "Hey, the girls and I are thinking of trying that new Italian place tonight. Can you book us a table for 8?" This was normal. Expected. I was the planner. I handled reservations, tickets, weekend trips. I'd done it for 2 years without thinking. Now, I thought about it. Then I replied, "Sorry, I'm busy tonight. You should call them directly. They're usually booked up. Sent. 1 minute later, a single question mark. I didn't respond because I was busy. At the gym, something I'd started doing with the extra time I now had in the evenings. Time that used to be spent planning her surprises. That weekend, the system went full throttle. I did my laundry. Only mine. I went grocery shopping. Only for me. Steaks, chicken, rice, veggies, protein bars, stuff for my lunches. I didn't buy her gluten-free bread. Didn't grab her overpriced almond milk. Didn't pick up the sour gummy worms she binged on during Netflix marathons. I came home, put my groceries on my shelves. Yes, we had designated ones, and started meal prepping. She walked in, looked in the fridge, then at me. You didn't get any of my stuff. It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. Like I'd committed a crime against cohabitation. Oh, sorry, I said, slicing chicken with zero emotion. I just grabbed what was on my list. I can text you a picture of the receipt if you want to know what your half of the shared stuff, like paper towels, comes to. Her face? Priceless. Shock. Confusion. Outrage. Because for 2 years, I'd never once asked her to split groceries. I paid for everything. Not because I had to. Because I wanted to. Because I loved her. But the roommate? He pays his share. No more. No less. And suddenly, she realized the guy who bought her snacks wasn't being nice. He was in love. And that guy was gone. Sunday, her car started making that rattling noise again. She'd mentioned it a few times, casually, like, "Ugh, my car's being weird. Never can you fix it? Never can you take it in?" Just expectation. Around 2 p.m., she appeared in my home office doorway. "My car's acting up again," she said, leaning against the frame like it was no big deal. "I really think you should take a look. I don't want to get ripped off by a mechanic." I swiveled my chair. Looked at her. "That sounds stressful," I said, voice calm, neutral, like a customer service rep. "It's always good to get a few quotes before any major repairs." Yelp has some solid reviews for shops in the area. Then I turned back to my screen. Silence. She stood there. For a full minute. No movement. No words. Just processing. Because the man who would have dropped everything, grabbed his tools, and spent his Sunday under her car hood. The man who had a mechanic on speed dial, who knew her car better than she did. That man loved her. The roommate? He's busy. He doesn't fix cars. He gives advice. And that's the difference. She finally huffed and walked away. But I could feel it. Something had shifted. The cracks were starting to show. Her birthday came 2 weeks later. This was the big test. In past years, I'd been planning for months. Surprise trips, hidden gifts, secret reservations. This year, I woke up, rolled over, saw she was awake, and said, "Happy birthday, Chloe. Hope you have a great day." Then I got up and started my morning routine. No breakfast in bed. No flowers. No hint of a surprise. She just lay there, watching me, like she was waiting for the other shoe to drop. She came into the kitchen while I was blending a protein shake. "So," she said, trying to sound casual, "any plans for my birthday?" "Me?" I asked, turning to her. "No, just work in the gym." "Did you have something planned?" "I just thought, we'd do something," she stammered. "Oh," I said, like it had just dawned on me. "I figured you'd be celebrating with your friends, the people you're close to." I paused, smiled. "I'm happy to grab a pizza and watch a movie with you tonight, if you want, like we sometimes do as friends." But I didn't want to assume. I said friends like it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. It was a knife. Because grand romantic gestures? Those are for people in love. Pizza and a movie? That's for friends. And she had made it clear she didn't want to be in love. So I gave her exactly what she asked for. She spent her birthday night on the couch, scrolling through her phone. Happy birthday messages flooded in. Queen. Goddess. Bestie. But no one came over. No plans. No celebration. Just silence. And me, sitting next to her, working on my laptop. The apartment had never felt so empty. Then came the money. Because here's what she didn't realize. Her entire lifestyle was subsidized. I paid for our dates, our vacations, her car insurance, her phone bill. I covered the rent when she was short. I upgraded her laptop when hers died. All of it. Not because I had to, because I wanted to, because I loved her. Now, the love was gone, so the support stopped. Her phone got shut off last week. She came to me, panicked. My phone's not working. I looked up from my laptop. Oh, right. I took my card off the family plan. We're not really a family anymore. You'll have to call them and set up your own account. Her face went pale. She didn't have a job, just freelance gigs, barely enough to cover her shopping. She had been living a life funded by a man in love. Now she was just a roommate, and roommates pay their own bills. She started trying to provoke me. Left, her clothes on the floor, her coffee mug in the sink, her makeup everywhere. I didn't clean it up. I just piled it neatly on her side of the bedroom. She played sad music, Adele, Louis Capaldi, the whole I'm Broken playlist, loud enough to fill the apartment. I put on my noise-canceling headphones and kept working. Last night was the final move. She came home late, tipsy, wearing one of my old shirts. Nothing else. The way she used to when she wanted to be close. She sat on the edge of the bed, started crying. I miss you, she said, voice trembling. I miss us. I put my book down, looked at her. It sounds like you're having a really tough time, I said, tone calm, concerned, like a neighbor hearing bad news. It's been a big month of changes. Have you considered talking to a therapist? It can be really helpful to have an impartial third party to work through these feelings. Silence. The tears stopped. She just stared at me, like I'd slapped her with a medical pamphlet. Because that's what it was. She wanted intimacy. She wanted comfort. She wanted the old me. Instead, she got a referral. And in that moment, she realized this wasn't revenge. This wasn't anger. This was systems. She set the rules. She defined the relationship. And I was just following the protocol, exactly as designed. Last night, it ended. I came home from the gym. She was at the kitchen table, staring at the lease renewal. We need to talk about this, she said, voice small. Okay, I said. What's on your mind? Are we renewing the lease? I'm not, I said. Her face went white. What? Where are we going to live? I'm not sure where you're going to live, Chloe, I said, calm. But I've already signed a lease on a new place. 1 bedroom, closer to my office. I move in on the 1st. She stared at me, like the floor had opened up. You're leaving me? Leaving you? I asked, genuinely confused. No, our living arrangement is ending. We're roommates, and 1 roommate is moving out. It's not common to sign a new lease together in that case. I found a place that's a better fit for me. I assumed you'd do the same. That's when she broke. Tears. Screaming. You're being cruel. You're punishing me. I made a mistake. I love you now. No, I said, quiet but firm. You told me you missed me. You never said you loved me. But even if you had, you told me you weren't in love with you. I believed you. I adjusted my life accordingly. I'm not punishing you. I'm respecting your honesty. She collapsed back into the chair. Then, final move, I walked to the counter. Picked up the small velvet box that had arrived that afternoon. Her eyes lit up. Hope. Desperation. She thought it was a ring. She thought this was the grand gesture. The proof that I still loved her. That I'd take her back. I opened the box. Inside, a key. A single, shiny, new apartment key on a simple metal ring. This is the key to my new place, I said. I'm really excited about it. It's got a great view. The hope in her eyes died. Not anger. Not sadness. Defeat. She had gambled everything on one assumption. That my love was unconditional. That I'd always be there, ready to serve. To care. To fix things. No matter how she treated me. She forgot one thing. Love isn't a utility. It's a mutual system. Turn off your end. And mine shuts down too. She got exactly what she asked for. A life with a man who isn't in love with her. And now, she has to live with it. I have 30 days left as her roommate. Then I'm gone. And the silence? It won't be loud anymore. It'll just be free.